Good morning, everybody. Thanks for coming to class today. If you happen to have a little squishy ball today, go ahead and go grab it. You don't have to have it. You don't need it. There's options. We can use blocks, but just in case, it's kind of a nice tool for something we're going to do later. And I want you to, if you could, if your body allows, I want you to sit up on a block. So, and if one block doesn't feel particularly secure, you can always take two blocks, one on either side. I know they're kind of dark. And then just sit on those because that'll just give you a little bit wider base and have your strap. So we got lots and lots of little preps to do here before we get going. So once you find, and again, if a block doesn't work, you can sit up on your blanket, but we are going to use that. So ideally a block will work. And again, legs crossed, you don't like that. Just go ahead and put your feet up in front of you, just sit nice and tall. And okay. I have something to read, my newest favorite book, another Mark Nepo book. It's called The Half-Life of Angels. It's a bunch of his poetry. I'm already starting to dog tag a bunch of these, or dog ear a bunch of these pages because his poetry just makes me happy. So let's go ahead and just settle in and close your eyes and find your breath. And if you are sitting up on a block, or maybe you're sitting in your chair, just feel your sit bones evenly weighted on either side and feel your spine rise up from that space. Feel the head line up beautifully above the neck, above the shoulders, above the hips. And allow yourself to breathe in and out and come fully onto your mat and fully into your yoga practice. And I want to read this poem from Mark Nepo, and it's called Tiger Eye. Tiger Eye. I've been told my whole life that survival is all that matters, that we better hunker down. But watching animals leap and run, they seem so holy and uncomplicated. And just yesterday, the eagle's chest grew wider so as not to be seen by its prey, while the white pine held its excess water like a jewel in the sun. I realize now that each of us is born with a light that cannot go out and an unquenchable need to stand up and go on. Just look at the consistency of a hummingbird before a flower twice its size. I can see at last that far enough in, shining forth and surviving are the same. In India, legend has it that the soul of the world makes a tiger's stripes fade over time, as kindness wears away our distrust. Breathe that in. And know that kindness does wear away all sense of distrust, and that everything is on purpose. And as we move deeper within, we see the beauty in everything, the hummingbird standing before a flower twice its size. And here, all we have to do is breathe. That's it. We breathe in and we breathe out. And then let your eyes flutter open and roll your shoulders. And just feel all that tension start to fade. And then let that go and take your left hand to your left shoulder and bring the elbow up toward your ear. Just bring it up to your ear and then drop it down toward your waist. Bring it up toward your ear and down one more time. Bring it up and down. And the next time you bring it up, then extend that arm all the way up and reach up toward the ceiling as you drop that hip. Just feel a little stretch and exhale, let that go. Good. And then the other side, bring your hand to your elbow, bring your elbow up to the ceiling and then down and bring it up, down and up and down. And the next time you bring it up, hold and then extend the arm all the way. Try to straighten the arm, everybody. Just reach and let that go. Take both arms up, extend. Breathe, maybe interlace those hands, press the palms up toward the ceiling and just stretch and maybe go to one side. Now be careful if you're sitting up on your block. Don't keep going and come to center. Go the other way, stretch and center. Good. Go back to your left and then circle forward and reach up 3 times in this direction. Stretch it out. Last one. Breathe and bring it forward. Re-interlace, reach up, go the other way 3 times. Just warming up. And breathe. 1 big circle. 2. And last one, stretch. And then release those hands and curl the wrist, curl all the way down, all the way, all the way, all the way, all the way down and shake it out. Good. And then straighten both legs for a moment, just in case you had them crossed that whole time. I'm going to scoot back a little bit so you can see my little feet. There we go. And then bend your left leg. And there's a couple of choices here. Either you're going to bend the leg and leave it like that, or if your knee allows, go ahead and set it back behind you so that you're on the top of your back foot. And then grab your strap and take the strap around your right foot. Good. And then pull back on that strap. Bring the right shoulder back into alignment. Flex your foot, right? Nice big flex. Remember, if this knee doesn't like this position, just take it out and find a spot. You know, you could be here, you can be here, you can be there, just as long as you're even on those sit bones. All right, so hold the strap in your right hand. Draw the right hand back, draw the right shoulder back. I'm mirroring here. Take the left arm up and stretch over. Good, breathe, everybody. That's it. And take that up, release down. I want you to push your foot into the strap and flex. Push, flex. Good, one more push and flex. And then listen up, one more thing here. I want you to grab the inside part of that strap with your left hand and gently be very gentle with your feet, ankles. You're pulling the big toe side in so that the ankle is stretching on the outside. And then bring it center and pull on the pinky side strap and allow the foot to turn out. Good, breathe. Good, one more, turn it in. Just kind of notice, don't overdo. And turn it out. And release, point and really reach the ball mound into your foot. Release, take that strap out, bend the knee. Now, again, be mindful if this feels okay or not okay. We're going to come off this other leg in just a second. If you can, I want you to bring the heel back until you feel a stretch in your Achilles tendon or the back of the ankle. And what that'll require for many of you is not only to bring it in, but to lean forward a little bit. Now, if that doesn't feel good or your knee won't allow that much compression, Instead, I want you to take the foot out and do a super flex, right? Just bring that heel or those toes as much up as possible. It's not quite the same stretch. If I can just kind of hang out here for a minute, I feel the stretch along the Achilles and into the back calf muscles. We start to stretch those out a little bit. You don't need a big stretch here. Don't go like for big, go for small, especially with the Achilles. If you've had an Achilles tendon injury, go even smaller. You can take your hands to the floor. I don't know if you feel this, but I feel this. So think about your daily activities. Think about what we do. We don't stretch the calf muscles all that much, which can create some adhesions around the ankle. It can keep us from fully using our feet when we walk. And come on up, straight in that leg, just circle out the ankle and release. You're going to go to the other side. So tuck one leg back if your body allows, otherwise set it off, sit that leg off to the side and bring your other leg out. Grab your strap, wrap that strap around, straighten the leg. Whew. Good. So first thing, that foot is straight on, best you can. Press the big toe mound out so that the foot isn't turning in or out. Hold on to it with your left hand, pull back. So this is going to give you some support. Take the right arm up and stretch over to the side, right? You can't go too far. You'll just topple right off that block. And I don't want that to happen. Good, deep breath, everybody. Stretch, nice big stretch. And take it center, release. Hold on to that strap and press the ball mound into the strap. Just really reach and then really flex. Grab just the big toe side of the strap and draw that strap closer to rotate the foot inward. And go the other way. Pull on the pinky side. Ooh, yeah. So this ankle for me is tighter. And what I'm learning is tighter isn't a bad thing, right? Because it depends. Maybe it is stronger. And based on my balance poses, I would say that it is stronger. So maybe that stronger is just a little bit more toned muscle through the ankle, through the side shin, instead of it being a problem. Good, and then bring it center, nice big flex with that foot, and then point really, really strongly if you can. Release your strap. See if you can slide the foot up. I have to bring mine up pretty far, pretty close to the block, and then lean forward to find the stretch. But as soon as I lean forward like this, as soon as I take the torso forward, I feel a nice, even stretch of the Achilles. Always trust your body, right? So if your body is saying, no way, no how, then trust that and don't do it. Take the foot out, flex the foot, right? We'll get a stretch that way. Big deep breath. Oh, yeah. And again, maybe notice which side has more sensation, which side has less, which is your dominant leg, which isn't, right? There's all kinds of things, all kinds of details that can create what's going on in those legs. And come on out, straight in that leg, unhook your other foot. Woo, take both legs straight out. Your fingertips are on the sides, and you're going to point, flex, point, and flex. One more, point and flex. Good. And then bend your knees. So this one a little bit trickier. Take your right foot, if you can, and come into a seated figure four. You're still up on your block. If you're feeling super wobbly on the block, come on off your block. It's no big deal. And then I want you to take your fingers on the same side and interlace them again, if you can, through each one of your toes. Okay, the further you go down those fingers, the more sensation you're gonna have. And I want you to circle that ankle. Hold on to the toes. You got fingers in between each one, and circle the ankle the other way. I almost said wrist. And then pull on your toes and let go and flare out. Flare out your toes, really spread them wide and then crunch them in. Good. One more big flare and crunch and shake it out and let go. Switch sides. So taking the ankle to the knee, if you can come lower. The other option, by the way, is just to stay low and kind of work at it from here. But you're taking that same side hand, you're going to feed it through each one of your toes. Oh, yeah. Right. Especially if we have bunions, if we have toe issues, this can be super challenging. So once you get your fingers as best you can there, circle. If the fingers are going nowhere near those toes, then just circle your ankle and circle the other way. And pull on your toes. Pull. Woo! Wowie, wowie. And let go. Good. Shake it out. I want you to spread all your toes wide. See if you can get some space in between them. And then scrunch them and spread and scrunch and let that go. Shake it out. We got one more here. Go back to figure four on the first side. Again, come off block if you feel a little shaky there. And this time you're going to bring the knee in a little bit closer until you feel a stretch on that right hip. And once you're there, you can take the torso forward and deepen that stretch. But again, I'm really trying to, for me, not go into like wow sensation, not to go into not to try to get that big stretch, but instead pause at the lighter stretch so that the body knows it has permission, right? It has permission. It's got time to let go some of that tightness. Good. Release that, everybody. Straighten the legs, shake it, and then switch sides. Your ankle, by the way, your heel does not have to be up here. Your hips might be such that your ankle is way out here and you're still feeling a stretch on the outer hip. Oh. Hill walking, right? We've been in the hills and in the mountains, and wowie, wowie, I sure feel that. Good. Shake it out. No more flat Florida. Good. Breathe. Maybe rock a little bit. Maybe take the torso forward. Deep breath. And let go. Good. Shake that out. Slide yourself right off your block. Set the block aside. Legs are straight. Hands come to your sides. Let's come to Dandasana pose, right? Hands are down, shoulders are back, legs got very, very active. Optional again, lift one leg. We have not done this in a while, right? So working with the quadricep, working with the hip flexor, finding your breath, trying to keep the chest tall, even if you got to lean back a little bit. Breathe, optional, arms up. Optional, point and flex, both feet. Point, flex, 3 and 4, one more, and 5, flex, lower, lift tall, and exhale, let go. Roll it out. Other side, sit tall, shoulders back. Find your breath. Lift your left leg. Engage your belly. Either the hands stay down, they can even go back further. It's perfectly awesome. Or take the arms up. And again, point, flex, point, flex, point, flex, last one, point, flex, and let go. Good. Breathe, and then just lean back again. Don't let your chest sink, right? Keep yourself nice and tall. And externally rotate the feet or the legs so that the feet go out to the sides. Don't force it, just see where you go for you. And then internally rotate. Maybe your big toes touch, maybe not. And external, internal, one more, external, Internal, and release that. Shake it out. Well done, everybody. Keep your strap off to the side. Take your blocks up to the front of your mat and come up to table pose. You're going to need your blanket a little bit later, but we'll come to that. We'll come to that. So from table pose, I want you to press your right foot back. Remember, we're working with our feet today, feet and ankles. Tone the belly in, and then come up on your tippy toe of the right foot and press the heel back. So again, that stretch through the back of that calf, Achilles. The Achilles tendon comes all the way around the base of that heel of your foot, almost to the arch or right up to the arch. So stretch it out, everybody. Good. Couple more. Breathe. Come back to center. Lift the leg, level out your hips, and then bend the knee. Point your toes. Breathe. Bring that knee into chest and reach it out. Good. Just 5 of these. Squeeze it in and out. Squeeze in and out. Last one. Squeeze in and out. And then with those toes pointed, I want you to just drop the foot back to the floor. So you're resting on the top of your toes. Don't force it. Breathe and release. Good. Other side. You're on your left side. Press that leg back, tone in through the belly, and then press back into the heel and all the way up to the toes. Press back and toes. Good. Couple more. Breathe. Last one. And up, and then lift the leg, bend the knee, squeeze your belly, point your toes, and breathe. And then bring that knee to chest. 1 and 2, 3, yep, and 4, and 1 more. Breathe. Stretch that leg out, drop that foot to the floor. Top of the foot presses into the floor, very gentle, and release it. Good. I want you to flip your toes under if you can and come up off of your hands and onto your knees. You might have to reach back and find your pinky toes or your second toe, right? Really the fourth toe, and make sure they are participating. And then draw the inner ankles toward each other isometrically. Feel your legs. 1, you're here. 2, you're going to sit back. Now, for some, this is not comfortable, or you've had surgery on your feet and you should not be doing this. Choices. 1, you come back up on the knees, or 2, bring your hands forward and take some of the weight off. Okay, you can come all the way up like this. Big deep breath, just feel that. If you can, unflip your toes. I know this can be tricky. 1, stay in table pose and just kind of tap your feet to the floor. 2, sit all the way down. Okay, stretching out those ankles, lean back, maybe the knees lift off the floor. Again, I have such respect for what our feet do for us. You don't want to do something that's going to make anything worse. So just pay attention. What's your body telling you today? Come on out. Whew. Come forward. Flip your toes under. Stretch out those toes. Press your torso back toward your thighs. Come to downward facing dog. Once you're in down dog, take the feet slightly wider and pedal your feet. Good. Don't forget about your upper body, right? Keep your upper body nice and engaged. And then bend your right knee and leave it bent and let the left heel come closer to the floor. Big deep breath. And then up on toes.
and left heel back down. Just 3. Up on the toes, left heel down. Last one, up on your toes, and left heel down. Release the right leg. We're going to go to the other side. Bend your left knee, stretch, keep your right heel to the floor. And then lift your right heel with your left, right heel down, and lift, and down. Yes, you are getting a little upper body work. 3, and down. Release, go wide with your pose. Draw the edges of your feet to the edges of your yoga mat. Stretch it out, everybody. And walk your hands all the way back, all the way. Whew. Bend your knees, take those knees out. Don't let them sink in. Hands come to your knees and come on up. Good, shake out the wrists, shake out your ankles, and grab your blanket. So you're gonna take your blanket, that wider width, usually you're in a square. So instead of rolling the short edge, roll the long edge, and just take it into a nice little burrito and set it on your yoga mat. It can be anywhere away from the front. And then grab your blocks, and only if you have it. If you don't have it, don't worry. And take that between your thighs and give it a squeeze, right? Your little ball there. So place your ball mounds of your feet on your blanket. So the heels are down, the blocks are in front of you. If you feel unbalanced, you can take the feet off or just do the toes. Squeeze that ball if you have it so that it presses the thighs back. Yeah. And then hinge at your hips, soft knees, hands come to your blocks. So as we squeeze the ball a little bit between those thighs, the sit bones draw back and wide. The lower back has space. The lower belly has some tone to it. And I'm stretching out the backs of my legs. Take your blocks and walk them forward a little bit more and lengthen through the torso. Just find your breath, everybody. Now, take a look at your feet and press into the big toe mounds. Yes, right? What does that change? Press into your big toe mound. Find your breath. Walk your blocks back toward you. Bend the knees, hands to knees, and come on up. Grab your ball and just whoop. No. See, now if it had gone over the railing, I probably wouldn't have bothered to go get it because it's a long way down. All right, so grab your ball. Bloopers, right? If I had a blooper tape, it would be too much. So I want you to step over your blanket and then put the heels of your body, heels of your feet on the blanket. Again, be mindful, right? It's a little unbalancing. The ball can go back between those thighs. This sit bones draw back. It's like somebody could pull that ball back. If we squeeze the ball, you can feel how the thighs draw back. Bend at the hips, hands to blocks. Be very mindful, right? Because you're going to be front body forward. And maybe lower the blocks, maybe walk them out just a little bit. Mindful of your backs. Breathe. Some of you can take your fingertips to the floor and feel very supported here. Otherwise, hands stay on blocks. And take the big toe mounds and press them into the floor. And notice that the inner ankles move toward each other just a little bit. Yep, big deep breath. I know this is a lot. Take your hands back to your blocks if they happen to be off. Take the blocks nice and high and just step right off your blanket forward. Bend your knees and come on up and shake it out. Good. You can set your ball aside, all that for that. And take your blanket and move it off your mat unless you want it underneath your knees. Inhale, take it up. Exhale, forward fold. Step back with your right foot. Lower your right knee to the floor. Take your blocks and put your hands on your blocks again. Wowee, it's loud out there. From here, I want you to slide your left foot back a little bit and bend the knee past your ankle, right? It's something we don't teach a lot, but we want range of motion in our ankles, in our feet, as long as it's not hurting the knee. Now, I would never bounce here or move while I'm here. I just want to get some stability while pressing the heel down, while stretching the ankle. Good. Release that. Walk your left foot forward. Press down through the toes. Bring the left hip back and lean forward. So try to keep the toes on the floor or close. Breathe, right? Not worried about the knee being fully straight. If I fully straighten my left knee, those toes aren't going to be anywhere near the floor. Breathe. Good. Come on up. Bend that knee. Just switch. Bring the left leg back. Bring the right foot forward. Starting a nice, easy lunge here. And then walk the right foot back a little bit. Bend the knee a little bit more and trail the knee past the foot. Again, you can come halfway. If you feel a stretch, it's that same thing. You feel a stretch, you are doing all you need to do. Good, breathe, everybody. Little tone to that back glute, a little bit of tone to the low belly. Find your breath. Release that, slide your front foot forward, plant your toes, and then see where you might be able to lengthen the front knee more, straighten it a little bit more, level out the hips, but really press your toes back. Find your breath. That's it. And then slide back, release it, blocks are to the front of your mat, you're back in table pose. Re-engage your belly, flip your toes under, and feel the toes underneath you. Now, I have not straightened my legs. I want to stretch it out, lift one foot if you can. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, lower and lift the other. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, lower, downward facing dog. Walk your down dog longer. In other words, take your feet back so that your heels are higher off the floor. Stretch your front body. Reach with the shoulders, plant the hands, keep the side body active. Draw the inner ankles toward each other isometrically. Come up on your tippy toes. Lower your knees to the floor. Keep your toes flipped under if you can. Reach back with your arms. Bring your hips to your heels. And then round up. Lift up. Listen up. Listen up. Walk your hands forward to plank pose. Oh my gosh. Good. In their ankles. Reach for each other. The legs are active. The hips are not sinking. Imagine squeezing that ball. Hang in there. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower the knees, everybody. Either child's pose or hero pose. If you can sit back, maybe try to draw the ankles a little straighter. Shake out the wrists and breathe. Come back to table pose. You're going to bring your right foot forward. Take the right foot and angle, walk the foot out 1 foot width, and then angle the foot out to the corner of your mat. Okay, so you're now at a diagonal.
And then I want you to draw the ankle back again, the heel back, and sink in again. Please don't do this if it's hurting your knee or your ankle. Draw down, the hands come to the floor. Breathe. And come on up. Walk that foot back to straight, hands to the floor. Lift your foot or lift your left knee off the floor, not your foot, and stretch that leg straight back. So right leg goes straight, pyramid pose. Well, variation here. Front leg straightens, hands are on your blocks. Want you to press through the big toe mound. Find your breath. Draw the inner ankle toward the center, right? It's an isometric move. And then lift all your toes at the front. Lift all the toes. Breathe. Bend your front knee. Lower your left. Bring that leg back. Shake it out, right? And bring the left foot forward. My goodness. All right. So same thing, left foot, right? We're going to walk it out 1 foot width and then turn the toes out. Your knees and your toes should be lining up. And then I'm going to sink in a little bit and let the knee go past the ankle. Your hands can come to the floor, stretching it out. You might feel this in the ankle, the Achilles, or the inner groin, or somewhere else. Breathe. Good. Take that up. Walk the foot back in so that you're back at that lunge distance. Lift your right knee off the floor. Level everything out. Begin to straighten your front leg. You can walk the blocks back so they're more in line with the ankle. Take a look at your front foot, right? Draw the inner ankle in, excuse me, isometrically, but it really is. It's like unscrewing that jar lid again, right? It's as if we could pull the pinky side of the foot out and the heel in, lift the arch, and then lift all your toes. While you're there, spread those toes out, right? Find some space in between those toes if you can. Breathe. Bend your front knee, listen up. Move your blocks out of the way, push off your back foot. Come to a forward fold. Bend the knees, hands to knees, come on up. Woo-hoo. And shake it out again. Good. So, we start to, the feet, in my opinion, are a lot like any other part of your body. We often will pick on them more than we will love them, right? I'll look and go, oh, look at that callus. Oh, I should paint my toenails. Oh, whatever, right? They're not perfect feet. They're not beautiful feet. They are functionally wonderful feet. And so I want you to approach your feet, your ankles, like you do everything else in your body. Give them some love. Take care of them. Don't ignore them. Okay. All right. So a little bit of simple work. We haven't done this in a while. I just want you to kind of feel your feet grounded. Lift all the toes of your right foot, all the toes, and breathe. Now, be careful you don't just kind of hyperextend the knee. It can be straight, but don't hyperextend. Spread the toes. Create some space between the toes. Even if there's not real space, just pretend. It's like taking your fingers from here to here and then lower them down. Press your toes down, but lift your big toe. And you can look, it's okay. And then lower the big toe, lift the other toes off the floor. Ooh. Lower, lift the big toe, keep the other 4 down. Lower, big toe down, other toes up. Lower, turn your ankle out to the side or your toes out to the side and turn them in, out, in, out, in, one more, out, in, and then forward. Other side, right? So we're looking at those toes. I'm going to press in. I'm going to lift all the toes up. The legs active. The pose is a strong pose, right? We're keeping the legs active, glutes active. Look at your feet, see if you can find space between any of the toes, any of them. Pinky toe, just there it goes. It just, and then lower those down. Press the big toe down, lift the other toes up. Lower those toes, lift the big toe. And switch. Woo. And switch. And lower and shake them out. One more thing standing, and then we're going to get moving again. Find your balance, engage, pretend there's a ball between those thighs, right? Widening through the sit bones. Feel all four corners of your feet. And then lift all your toes. All of them. Spread them out, lift them up, find your breath. Optional, take the arms up, breathe, get taller, get taller still, and exhale, release. And then look at your toes and scrunch them up. And release. Scrunch, release, scrunch toes, release. One more, scrunch and release. And then just like you're walking in place, like you're doing some weird silent movie, just walk in place. Good. Last one. Engage, mountain pose. If you can, lift your heels. Inner ankles reach for each other, right? Those sit bones get wide, the glutes are active, the heels are lifted, and let it go. Good. And just kind of check it out, right? How's that feeling? And then grab your strap. You're going to set the strap, if I'm mirroring here, you're going to set the strap under the ball mound of your right foot, okay? So you want to be able to step on the strap and have the strap on either side. So no loop there. And then hold the strap with your right hand. Try to pull the strap up, but push the foot back down. You can even lift the toes. So if you need to see from the side, right, I've got it right under that ball mound and I'm resisting. I'm really resisting. And breathe. Keep that, lower the toes, hand to your other hand to your hip and lift your other foot off the floor, any amount, and notice what's going on with that ankle. Right? For me, left side ankle always less strong or less balanced. And so it's wobbling all over the place. So the strap is giving us feedback. I want you to feel that strap under your toe. See if you can find level and breathe. Keep the glute active, keep the hip in, allow yourself to wobble. It's okay. And then lower down. Engage the right leg, take the strap, engage your left leg, take the strap in either hand, okay? And then you're gonna lift and bend the knee so that the knee slides through your strap. You can lower the hands down the strap some and then press out. Push your ball mound into your strap. Breathe, pull the strap back. So you've got a lot of action going on here. Feel your right foot going crazy. And then lower down. Shake it out, other side. So when we talk about grounding, right? When we talk about grounding the four corners of the feet, it's kind of what we're talking about here. And a lot of times the pinky side or the big toe side will lift up or the ankle will collapse in. So this is just giving us some feedback. So the strap's in your left hand, you're giving it just a good tug, and then you're gonna push your ball mound down. Lift your toes on that left side. Find your breath. Lower the toes, engage the glute, heel your right foot off the floor. Yep, and notice where your foot goes, right? Do you lean into the pinky side? Do you lean into the big toe side? Can you find center? Deep breath. Your hand can be on your hip, your hand can be out, wherever you want to take it for helping your balance. Woo, and let go. Good. Stabilize the right leg, right hip, right glute. Take the strap in both hands. Bend the knee through it. You can come in a little bit closer. Hold on to it and just find your balance again. Only if you want, extend the leg out, push through the ball mound, but resist and pull the strap back with your hands, bringing the elbows to your side body. Breathe, stand tall, and release it. Oh, shake it out, everybody. Good. We're going to come back to that. Set your strap aside. Come back to the front of your mat. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, take it down. Step back, right leg. Find your lunge. Your right knee can be down. Take your hands to your knee. Take your torso up. Open up your shoulders. Press through your back leg. Press through the ball mound. Feel the inner ankle draw in just a little bit. Front knee, front ankle, and take the arms up. If you can, lift your front toes. Yes, lift your front toes. Breathe. More balance work here. Release, exhale down to the floor. Step back, downward facing dog. Bend one knee, bend the other knee. Find down dog. Go to plank. Feel your toes, right? Undo one foot to the top of your foot. Don't let the hips sink. Release, switch sides. Top of your foot. Hold your plank. Release. Downward facing dog, everybody. Find your breath. Step forward, right leg. Make sure your pose is wide enough. Engage your belly. Bring the back ankle in, hands to knee. Come on up and breathe. So a lot of times, right, that back heel will flip either out or in. See if you can stay right on the ball mound. See if you can figure out what happens. And then lift your front toes and maybe take the arms up. Breathe. Inner thighs move toward each other. Breathe. Exhale, down we go. Step back, downward facing dog. Find your pose, lift both heels. Lower both heels. Plank pose. Breathe. Undo one foot so you're on top of the foot. Don't let the hips drop. Switch sides, undo the other foot. Right, that side hip wants to drop. Keep it level. Take the toes back. Lower the knees. Child's pose. Or hero pose. Or thunderbolt pose. So thunderbolt, my understanding, thunderbolt is sitting on the heels. Hero is separating the heels. I don't like that as much for me, so I stay up on the heels, and that feels good. Catch your breath, or let me catch my breath. Breathe, everybody. All right, so let's finish the kind of up portion of class. Come back to table pose. From table pose, I want you to take the feet or the heels together, but take the knees wide, okay? And from here, lift your body, and it's like you're doing a little ballet thing. So the toes are out, the heels are in. Again, watch your knees. If you can drop the heels to the floor, awesome. If you can't, still awesome.
And then bend your knees and drop them to the floor. And then stand up again. Yep. So we're just bending and straightening the legs in this very weird down dog. Good. One more right here. Don't let anything get painful. And then straighten the heels. Yep, down dog. Take your feet wide. Walk your feet in, walk your hands in. Find your breath, bend the knees, hands come to knees. Come on up. Shake, shake, shake. Take your feet wide. Turn the toes out. Inhale it up. Exhale, goddess pose. Right? You knew this had to come in here somewhere with all this feet flexing. Good. And just rock side to side. And as you do, lift one set of toes and then the other. Right? Breathe. Some of you can come low. How low can you go? And then maybe take it up a little bit. And then find center. And just take a look, right? So of course we're doing a squat here. So we're working the legs, we're working the hips. Imagine that you could roll these hips, these inner thighs in and back without taking the torso forward. Keep the knees to your sides. Lift one heel. Breathe. Calf muscle strength. Lower. Lift the other heel. Lower. Lift both if you can. Find balance. Hands come to heart or they stay on thighs. Breathe. Lower. And then stand up. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Squeeze your glutes. Squeeze your hips. Heel toe in. Shake it out. And then maybe find a wall space or something for balance if you would like. So we find mountain pose. And we just breathe. And then we find the four corners of the feet. And we spread the toes out a little bit to create that wider base of support. The shoulders are back. You feel really strong here. And then shift into, I'm going to mirror here, shift into your left leg. Peel your right foot off and bring the knee up. Find balance, find that nice even pelvis. Take your hands underneath your right thigh. Open up your chest, your shoulders, and see if you can straighten the leg. Okay, notice the standing leg. Notice what's going on. Are you scrunching the toes? If you're wobbling side to side, join the party, right? Because that's probably what we're all doing. Breathe, release, and let go. If you go out today, if you go out in public today, notice the number of people that do this, right? They shuffle. They have no movement in their ankles. They have no flexibility. They just shuffle like the ankles and the legs are glued in place. Not good. Not good. So we don't want to do that. We want this to happen, right? We want the movement. It's on purpose, right? It's how we stay mobile. Okay. Which sides? Your hands can be to your hip. Engage for you all, right leg. For me, left leg. Stabilize the standing leg and then peel the other leg off. Take the hands underneath the leg, maybe interlace the fingers. Breathe. If you want, extend. Yep. Find your pose, everybody. I'm actually pushing my leg into my hands and resisting a little bit to create levelness in the pelvis.
and stability. And then bend and shake it out. Going back to the first side, stand strong on your left leg choices. 1, right here. 2, one hand, one arm up. 3, ankle. 4, big toe, using your peace and love fingers. Take the leg up. Where did you go today, right? Press the big toe mound out. Find your breath. Feel the 4 corners of your standing leg. And then bend and let go, shake it. Shake, shake, shake. Shake your booty. No. Remember that song? Other side. Engage. Find the glute, find the hip, all that stuff. Pick your choice of pose here. You're here, or you're here, or you're going to grab your shin, or you're going to go for the big toe and see what happens. Breathe. And release and shake it out. This is only going to be if you can go to a deep squat. So please be mindful. You're going to take a block. And if you can't, then I just want you to come down to a seat on your mat. I've got a block behind me and I'm going to sit down on it. Okay. And the way I'm going to do that is I'm going to take my toes out, hands to the floor. I'm going to lift my heels and see if I can drop down carefully onto the block. So all I'm doing is a squat, right? Garland pose is a squat here, right? Some options. But I just want to sit. And once again, I'm getting a lot of flexion from the ankles. I'm getting a lot of flexion in the knees. Not a bad thing. Now, my one friend out there, you might be feeling those shins a little bit because what are we doing too? We're engaging the anterior tibialis muscles, those muscles that ride along the front of the shins. So if they were tender to start with, they're going to be more tender now. Good. Breathe. Just let go carefully. Come off your block. Set your block aside for now. We're going to try one more thing, which you know I love you. So this is optional. Okay, one. This is your option for this. If you can, just sit back on a block and kind of massage your calf muscles a little bit. That's if you cannot do what we're gonna do. And please understand, there's no right, wrong here. Our knees, our ankles, joints in general, we have to love them. That means we don't do things that make them worse. So otherwise, you're gonna take your little burrito and you're gonna stick it as far behind your knees as you can. And then you're gonna sit back. Now, let me tell you something. This is not comfortable for everybody I know. So if this is not comfortable, you are in the majority, as long as it is not excruciating. Okay, so options. If you're here and your calf muscles are going, no, thank you, or you have something like varicose veins or swelling or anything, come on off of it. Or do what we did before, just lean forward and take some of the weight off. Okay, so we're basically giving our calf muscles a very deep massage, right? Trying to just move through some of the fascia, some of the connective tissue, some of that muscle to loosen it up because the calf muscles can get so tight just from daily living, just from walking and everything else that we do. So I'm okay with this. I'm okay with this little bit of discomfort because I know that when I get up, it's going to feel really good. And we will have stretched the heck out of our calf muscles. All right, so come on out. I know that was a lot. And release. Whew. And then just kind of roll over the ankles and have a seat. Grab your little burrito roll and take it right in front of you. Whew. And straighten both legs over top of it. You can lean back. You can even slouch. That feels so good. Okay, no slouching. All right, so hands behind you. And just let the blanket be right kind of at the center of your calf muscles. Okay, point and flex. And then big circles. I mean, really big circles. And circle the other way. And then turn the feet out and turn the toes in. Good, one more here. Turn the toes out and turn the toes in. And then I want you to take one foot and just kind of way down your other foot. You can do that any way that makes sense for you. You can go into this kind of funky figure four. Let me, I'll turn and maybe you can see, and I'll switch legs. So I just have this calf muscle and I want to give it a little bit of weight. And then I'm going to roll around on the blanket. I'm just going to go side to side. And if the foot works, great. If you'd rather do a hand, that's great. But I'm trying to find a way to get a little bit of more massage of that particular calf muscle. And then turn the toes out to the side, press into the blanket and point flex. So there's two muscles in the calf that I'm aware of. There's probably more. There's the gastrocnemius, which is what we see when we flex, right? Those two sides there. But underneath it is a muscle called the soleus, and it's flat, and it's a pretty hard one to access. So as I turn my toes out and flex and point, I'm just trying to get a little deeper. And then I'm going to turn the foot in or roll the hip internal rotation, and I'm going to do the same. Now, if you had a foam roller, even better. But the blanket works pretty good. And I don't know about you, but I feel that, especially the internal one, which gives me information. And then release and switch sides. So you're just kind of rolling it side to side. Maybe you can get your foot up there. Maybe you can get your heel there. And then externally rotate. Just add a little bit of weight to that leg and point and flex. That's it. Couple more. And breathe. And then internally rotate. Try to get that part of the muscle, the inside gastroc, and flex and point and point. Good. Couple more. Woo. And release. And then tighten up your little burrito roll. Tighten it up. Place it back down. Put the calf muscles right on top of it. Lift your hips. Lift your hips. Use your upper body. Point, flex, point, flex, point, flex. Lift one leg. Lower, lift the other leg. Lower and set yourself down. Take the blanket right underneath your knees and then come on forward if you want. If this hurts your back, don't do it. So with the knees on a blanket, right, it gives the pelvis more space to come forward hopefully without stressing the low back or the SI joint. And then come on up. Take your burrito roll about halfway on your blanket or on your mat, about halfway up. How you doing out there? We're almost done. I know, right? Whole class focused on the feet. Woohoo! All right. And ankles. It's really feet and ankles, right? So come on down onto your blanket. Life is good. Move your other stuff out of the way. Lower down your upper body. Let your head rest on your forehead, on your hands, and feel your pelvis. So you want the pubic bone down low at kind of the bottom edge of that blanket. And press into the blanket evenly and lift both knees off the floor. Just lift both knees. I got to keep my head up because I get too muffly. So lift your knees off the floor. And then squeeze your glutes and just lift one leg. Don't lift too high. Keep both sides of your pelvis evenly on the blanket. And lower down. Lift the other. Lower down. Lift both. Don't come off your blanket. Breathe. And lower both down. Shake it out. Flip your toes under. Draw the inner ankles back toward each other. Lift both knees. Okay, little different. Engage your belly. Press the lower edge of the pubic bone into that blanket. Lift one leg. Oh, don't lift too high. Lower, lift the other. Lower, lift both if you can. Don't go high. No arching or no overarching. Breathe. Lower both down, tops of the feet. Just shake it out. Good. Press into your blanket. Come to Sphinx pose. Check it out. How does it feel? If you are overarching, you're going to dump into your lower back and it's going to feel terrible. So move your belly button in. You can scoot your pelvis down the blanket a little bit. Hold, lift your knees off the floor. Breathe. And lower. Lower your whole body. Take your hands wide on your mat. I have my index and thumb on the mat. The other fingers are off of my mat. Draw the elbows back. Press up, maybe a wider armed cobra. How's that feel? Breathe. Lower down. One more option. The hands come in, the elbows come in. Claw my fingers into the mat and lift up. Elbows are soft. The chest is lifted. You're not hiking up to your shoulders, everybody. Breathe. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Slowly lower down all the way. Bend one knee and then the other. And then bend your right knee. Reach back with your right hand if you can find your foot and just lift the knee off the floor. Keep the pelvis down. Big deep breath. Good. Release that side. Bend your left. Reach back with your left hand. Press into the blanket. Lift the knee. The heel goes toward your hip. And lower. I have a sneeze. Excuse me. Roll over to one side. Roll over to your back. You're going to use that pillow for your knees or underneath your hips. So come on down. We're almost there. Bring your left knee to your chest. Stretch your right leg long. Let it just go right over that blanket. And then hands behind the left leg. Stretch the left leg up.
Point your toes, level out your pelvis. Bend the knee, hands go to the front of the knee, push that knee away, lift your right foot. Good, lower down, switch sides, bring your right knee in. Hands underneath your knee, straighten the leg. Press the left leg into the blanket just a little bit. Point your toe, breathe. Bend the knee, hands go to the front of your knee. Push your knee away, lift your left foot a little bit. Level your hips. Good, lower both knees to chest, everybody. And then straighten the right leg over your blanket. Straighten your left leg over your blanket. And let's come to Shavasana. Big deep breath in. Big beautiful sigh out. Feel your hips, feel the legs. Maybe wiggle your toes a little bit and let them soften into Shavasana. And maybe just for a moment, we come back to that Mark Nepo poem that we are not here just to survive. We are here to be free, to experience joy, to live our lives. Soften down even more. Feel the sweetness of your day unfolding. And as you're ready, please stay in Shavasana longer if you would like. That was a short one. But otherwise, wiggle those toes and send a wiggle of laughter all the way up your body, all the way to the shoulders, the chest, the face.
As you bend your knees, bring your knees to your chest. Rock side to side. Allow the knees to go to one side or the other. And then very slowly press all the way up, coming back to your seated pose. Bring your hands to your heart. Breathe. Feel joy. Namaste, everyone. Thank you so much for coming to class.